Weep Nation, what's going on? Shark Gaming here, back with another vlog. And in today's vlog, I'm going to be speaking about how I changed my skin drastically in just a couple of years. Hey, it's all in the diet, but it was 100% God. And I'm not even trying to BS anybody. Let me just explain why I said that, and I'm going to explain how the diet has been changed. You know, basically, as a Jamaican growing up, my staple breakfast used to be, and let me just explain what I used to eat in a regular day. I was an athlete, so gaining weight wasn't something that I could do very easily. As a matter of fact, I didn't even gain weight like that. I could eat anything and not gain weight, and I'd still be muscular, still have abs, still be one of the fittest persons there because I was very active. I used to play a lot of sports. I used to have 2-3 different training sessions per day. I used to play hockey, badminton, basketball, football, like anything that could keep me active. I'd be there playing with my friends, with my classmates, with anything. I used to represent the country nationally in multiple sports. It's happened, you get me? And I feel like that's the only reason, and this is not to shame anybody, but that's the only reason why I'm not fat right now. Obviously, I weigh 197 pounds, because I don't play any sports now, but this is just me having an active lifestyle, but it is after the transformation, and you can see that a lot of things have changed. The quality of my skin has changed, the quality of the skin on my face as well, obviously my facial, whatever, the quality of my sleep, the quality of just life. I used to be very injured growing up as well, where, I don't know, I used to just feel pain in my body, all over my body. So I used to be very used to feeling pain, but now I actually don't feel pain. Like, I'll just be walking and I'm good. But don't get me wrong, after having an amazing leg session, for argument's sake, my legs will be rendered useless, but that feels good to me. That's the type of pain that feels good to me. Not, oh my God, I have an ankle injury that's been having for the last 2 months and my ankle is swollen, you know what I'm saying? Or my knee is this, or I pulled my shoulder. I have dislocated my shoulder twice. You get me? And I've played through those type of trauma. I've played through those type of stuff, so I know what pain feels like. I've never broken a bone, but I've fractured multiple bones, and I have fractured my toes in some of the biggest stages ever, and I had to tape up rather, the second toe. So you have the big pinky, the big thumb toe, the big toe, and then you have the one beside it, the long one. The long one, which one was fractured? I think the big toe was fractured, and I had to tape them together to finish a match that was like the next 35 minutes before it was finished. So I've been there, and don't get me wrong, I could have just quit, but quitting is just not in my mentality. You get me? So, for the backstory, I don't know, I like to rant. Hey, if you guys have watched a couple of videos, I like to chat. That's just the truth, especially when I'm passionate about something. But growing up in Jamaica, yes, I was an athlete, but my skin was always terrible, and I never knew what was the problem for that. But one day it kind of occurred to me that my eating habits was terrible. Every single morning I drink Milo tea, and when I say Milo tea, I'm talking some of the sweetest Milo tea you've ever had in your life. Like, I'm talking about how your grandmother, or at least how my grandmother would make it. She make it inside of the pot, and she make one big batch of Milo, and I'm telling you, she probably used to finish one big condensed milk in that. So like me, my little brother, my little sister, my older sister, my stepfather, we drink Milo tea every single morning. It's either Milo tea or a lime tea, and the lime leaf tea. And the lime leaf tea, you'd think that was healthy, but we would literally we'd boil the water, put the lime leaf inside of the cup, pour the tea inside of the cup, and then put 2 of the regular spoons worth of sugar inside of that. No, I'm a scientist, but I'm not a scientist. 2 of the large spoon or the 2 of the regular spoon of sugar is a lot of sugar. I don't care what anybody wants to say. You get me? So imagine drinking either lime leaf tea or Milo tea every single day. And when you get the chance, you might drink like a flipping Swiss milk tea. You might drink porridge, and the porridge used to be extremely sweet. And I'm telling you, for breakfast, I don't have it on me because I haven't had this breakfast in years, but the staple breakfast in my house used to be fried food. Now let me explain it. It used to be, first of all, the hard dough bread? The hard dough bread, one slice of hard dough bread is 140 calories. That thing promotes cholesterol because you used to eat 2 slices of that every single morning. Not every single day, because during the day when you come back home, you probably eat bread and butter, which has 0 protein, by the way. Bread and butter, bread and jam, peanut butter and jam, whatever the case may be, eating those. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. But yes, the breakfast used to be 2 slices of hard bread with a fried egg or a fried omelet. And then you'd have fried frankfurters, which taste so good, by the way. Fried frankfurters taste so good. And when you have the egg, you have the frankfurters, and then you have to fry the plantain with it. So you have 3 fried things that taste amazingly. You see, when you drop those 3 together and make a nice piece of sandwich, you say, oh, and you drink that with your tea, you say, oh, I've had a healthy breakfast today. Like, my breakfast was so healthy today. This is one of the most healthiest breakfasts I've ever had in my life, you know? So you have that type of breakfast and you're like, yeah, this is good eating. You used to bring your lunch kit or whatever the case may be. You know, let's say you used to bring your lunch kit. You know, I never used to bring my lunch kit, but let's say you used to bring your lunch kit. You know, no, you know what? Let's change it. Let's continue my day of eating. Didn't used to bring my lunch kit. I remember I never used to go home or I never leave workplaces until 5:30 because that's when my stepfather's workplace used to end or used to finish. So we wouldn't reach home until 7:30 in the night, sometimes 8 o'clock. You get me? So you're gonna eat a lot of food. And let me tell you exactly what we eat. So at Woolmos, I think in fourth form upwards, lunchtime was 10:45 to 11:25, if I'm not mistaken. If there's any Woolmerians watching this right now, I think that's when we used to get lunchtime. I'm not 100% sure. I think 10:05 was lunchtime for lower school, and then 10:45 was lunchtime for upper school. For lunch every single day, I used to eat a medium lunch and a box food. Medium lunch, box food, or soda. And the box food sweet. Soda is sweet. And I still love it, but I used to love Sprite. I haven't had a Sprite in months because I have zero Sprite now and zero sugar, Coca-Cola and those things. But Sprite, I would drink 5 Sprites. If you gave me 5 Sprites today, I'd drink off all of them. That's how much I love Sprite. I used to love Coca-Cola. I used to love, you know which one I like? Not the Coca-Cola, but I think it's cream soda I call, D&G cream soda. I used to love that. Pepsi, nothing better than a cold Pepsi. Let's just be real for a second, you get me? Nothing's better than a cold Pepsi. I never used to like Ting, still don't like it. Never used to like ginger beer and those type of things, still don't like them, you know? But I used to drink soda a lot. I used to drink even the box juices that you see, even tropical iridiums and those things are filled with a lot of sugar. You get me? And when you're drinking those things every day, maybe even 2 or 3 of them every single day, it's a problem because, as I said, eat a medium lunch. You get me? Not to mention the snacking. Yes, snacks were a problem and sweetie was a problem. You get me? But let's just say for argument's sake, so you stay the medium lunch, the soda. After school, you have to get something. So you'd get a cheese bread and you'd get another soda. You get me? Or we used to eat the butter kiss biscuit, you know what I'm saying, with a soda. Never used to drink so much water, bro. I'm going to tell you the truth. Never used to drink that much water. You get me? So, and then when you reach home, you're eating some of the most unhealthiest stuff ever. You get me? But remember, this is what we grow up on and this is what you believe. And because I'm not getting fat, my sister is not getting fat. My little brother, he was a bit chubby still. He never used to play sports. But my little sister played sports. My older sister played sports. I played sports. So none of us are gaining weight because all of us are very active. But nobody's looking at that. We're saying, oh, we're healthy, you know. But this whole time, most of the people in my family who are older than me, they have hypertension, they have high blood pressure, which is the same thing. They have diabetes, they have all of those things, and they don't even realize why they have it. And it's because of the sugar, it's because of the salt, it's because of all of those things. A lot of people literally cook. Back in the day, they used to put in a lot of seasoning into food, and then they'd still put in salt. Most of the seasoning that you use actually already having salt. So why would you need to add salt to something that already have seasoning? And I'm telling you, this is one of the greediest things that I've ever done that we never know about at the time. But we used to make tang. We used to mix tang with sugar. Tang already has in it sugar. All you have to do is add the right amount of water or even more than the recommended amount of water to actually get it, you know. But we never really know that. So we never really look on it like that. So we used to, I'm telling you, we used to do these things on a regular. And I'm telling you, we used to buy, my favorite Kool-Aid was Shackleberry Fin. And we used to buy at least, I'd say, we used to buy maybe 10 Kool-Aids, Shackleberry Fin, plus like 10 tang. Sometimes we used to mix the tang and the Kool-Aid and still put in sugar. And then with a go outside, and let me tell you how crazy it is with a go outside, cause we had a lot of fruit trees inside of the yard. So with a go outside and would I buy, not buy, would I go outside and would I pick cherry till a week, would I pick mango, would I pick what's that thing called? Would I pick lime, would I pick pineapple, all of that. And I'm telling you, we used to make a lot of fruit juice and say, yeah man, we're healthy. You get me? Cause you know, you make your fruit juice, you put it with ginger. So for argument's sake, you make lime juice, ginger, you blend it up, you put it in there. Not lime juice. You do cherry juice, ginger, you blend it up, you put it in there. You know what I'm saying? But you put a heavy amount of sugar in there. So you're like, yeah man, this is fruit juice, it's healthy. It's not. We used to have so much juice in the fridge that we'd have to freeze some of the juice. You know, okay, I don't even know how to explain it, but we used to have a bucket, right? Okay, so we had 3 buckets, and I'm not even kidding you. I'm not talking about the small buckets. If anybody know the paint buckets, like I wish I had a bucket in here to show you. Like, this is how bad it is, and I'm actually I'm getting traumatized by thinking about it. We used to have the buckets. Like, if anybody can think of the paint buckets, let me see if I can find a picture of a paint bucket to show you. Because no word of a lie, I am so serious. Like, I need to just show you guys what I'm talking about for you guys to understand how we were literally killing ourselves, bro. Like, I don't even think you understand. This is something that, my God. Okay, this is not a proper representation, but you see those 2 paint buckets that you're seeing right there? You see those 2 paint buckets that you're seeing right there? These 2 paint buckets, we used to have 3 of those. One bucket had in rice. Remember, rice is already packed with carbs and starches and all of that. You know, we're not even gonna talk about rice in this video. Cause rice used to be staple. We used to eat rice more than we eat meat. We ain't even gonna talk about that. One used to have rice. I'm talking the big buckets. One used to have rice. One used to have flour. We're not even gonna talk about how bad flour is either. So one used to have rice, one used to have flour, and one used to have sugar. And I'm telling you right now, the sugar, they used to buy these groceries every single month, and before the month is over, they had to refill the sugar buckets. That's how bad it was, because juice always was in the fridge, juice always was in the freezer. We used to even buy the the mold popsicle things. We used to make popsicles, bro. Me and my siblings used to make popsicles and ice cubes with juice and all that kind of crap. And they still used to buy all of the true juice box drinks for my younger siblings to go to school with. They still used to buy the Capri Suns and all those lovely stuff. Bro, there's so many things that I'm gonna change if and when I actually have like children. If the Lord blesses me enough to have, a nice marriage and children, there's so many different things that are going to happen, because ever since like I've been like living on my own and stuff, not even living on my own for the last 2-3 years, ever since I started like cooking more and started bringing lunch and all those lovely stuff, I've actually realized how much healthier it is and how much satisfying it is that you know exactly what's inside of your food. That's something that is very underrated, and I guess we definitely take it for a joke, but I'll tell you that right now, sugar is one of the killers that's definitely affecting not only our young people, but our old people. You get me? And a lot of people think that, they inherit, they inherit certain sickness from their family members. They didn't. The truth of the matter is, they're talking about this and that running your family. Most of us just never ran in the family. The reason why it never reached me as yet, because I actually used to have a higher blood pressure, but they used to chalk it down to me being very active, because they say athletes usually have a higher blood pressure, but it was actually my diet. And ever since I changed the diet, even though I was still active, my blood pressure has been normal, sometimes even below normal. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you. And then because of that, you actually been depleting your body slowly and surely. But as you can see, my skin has improved dramatically. There's still a lot of scars that are there. Like, these are not bumps. These are literally scars from years and years and years and years and years of having terrible skin and bumps and probably bursting them and all that lovely stuff. But trust and believe when I say this, it was God. And let me tell you how God is crazy, right? First of all, God literally aligned so many different things in one short space of time that really, and I don't mean to be emotional and I don't mean to be dramatic either, but the only possible answer is God. And just know that everything happens for a reason. He literally saved us from years of having probably sharing the same faith as most of my family members. And let me explain what I mean by that. When I say my mother in 2015 or 2016, I don't remember what year it was. She went to China for 2 years. She came back 2017. So I guess it was 2015. She went to China to do her master's, you know? That in itself was already a blessing because one, you know, you're going to get a master's, which means that you're going to get a raise in pay. You can apply for better jobs. You can apply for a higher position. The opportunities are endless. Plus, you actually increase your knowledge and you have a master's, you know what I'm saying? That's something that a lot of people don't have. And at the age that she was at, you know, because my mother is old, she's like 100 years old, I'm joking. She's actually very young, you know, for the age that she's at, that's actually an underrated thing, especially for somebody who didn't go to university, especially at a traditional age. You know, she started her university journey very, very old, you know, through perseverance and continuously fighting. You know, my mother's a superhero, but that's a story for another day. And it's like, she went to China. So you see where I'm going with this story. She went to China and she learned a lot about the customs. As I said, remember, we used to drink tea every single day with sugar. We used to drink juice every single day. And I'm somebody who I like sweet things. You get me? So if I drink a nice if I drink a nice cool glass of juice, I'm going to drink another one. You get me? I'd much rather drink 2 cups of juice than 1 cup of water back in those days. You get me? So, and remember, I love soda. So I used to go to the shop and buy like 2-3 sodas. And if I wake up in the middle of the night and I see soda in the fridge, I'm going to drink a soda with some crackers and butter. I'll tell you the truth. I have not had crackers and butter in years, maybe even 5 years. But hey, crackers and butter used to be my thing. Bread and butter used to be my thing. But this because it's things that you grew up on. So anyway, you know, my mother went to China. She came back. When she came back, she said, "Hey, we're not gonna start. We're not gonna use these buckets of sugar anymore." She's like, "Oh, when she went to China, they drank tea without sugar. It was a culture change." I started drinking tea without sugar. At first, I was like, "Oh, this thing tastes terrible," but really and truly, you get used to it after a while, and you realize that you don't need sugar in your tea, and it definitely you get the health benefits better if you drink it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're drawing, extracting from, you know. Like, think about it. Nobody puts sugar inside of Cersei tea, and Cersei tea is one of the most effective washouts ever. Not saying you should drink it every day, because it's actually not good for, especially for diabetic people, because it will make your blood show that you're not diabetic, and you don't want that. You get me? But I think it helps to thin out the blood. I'm not a doctor, so you can always research it. But Cersei tea once a month, twice a month is not bad. Overdoing it is a problem. Lime leaf tea without sugar is good. Ginger tea without sugar. Like, I love tea. I love tea. Like, I love tea now. I love it. Anyway, she went there and realized too much oil. We've been using too much oil. We eating too much rice. But then we used to eat long grain rice. She came back and we started eating basmati and jasmine rice, you know. I don't know. And brown rice. We started eating brown rice. We started eating parboiled rice. We started eating all sorts of different type of rices. And I would say that they definitely had an impact. I don't know what the impact was because, as I said, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dumb-ass person. I'm joking. But, you know, we changed so much in our diet. We started eating more, I'd say more vegetables, way more vegetables. And over time, things just started changing. Like, it's reached the point where who live by myself, I don't even have sugar inside the house. And when I was living with my mother, up until even this year in April, my mother had no sugar in the house. Like, if you wanted anything with sugar, we just bought a small bag of sugar. And that small bag of sugar would end up like crystallizing inside of the cupboard because nobody's using it. Like, we don't use sugar inside the house. She'd much rather go buy the honey. She'd much rather we use like a fruit that is sweet. Like, you know, for argument's sake, if you want to sweeten something, we usually sweeten it. Don't get me wrong, in a year we still had porridge, but instead of making a really, really sweet porridge, we actually like fresh porridges. You know what I'm saying? We like porridges that, like, I prefer fresh food now. Like, when I eat my food, trust me, my food tastes extremely well, but it's not salty. It's not sugary. It tastes satiating and it's really good. And I've had a lot of people compliment my cooking. And I'm telling you, I don't put salt as a seasoning because the seasoning already have salt in it. You get me? There's certain things that don't need salt. Like, when you realize how much you're actually like doing, like, bro, as a man, you're supposed to be drinking at least 3 liters of water per day. When you pee, and I'm sorry if this sounds very explicit, but when you pee, You can literally know if you're drinking enough water, if you're hydrated or dehydrated. Because your pee not supposed to look extremely clear. Sometimes mine look too clear, yes, fine. But it's not supposed, you see if that thing look really, really yellow, my brother in Christ or my sister in Christ, you're very dehydrated. Drink more water. Water helps to keep you full. Water helps to keep your body regulating. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going through some heat wave, you need water. The best way to drink water, in my opinion, is to drink room temperature water. I love cold water, but room temperature water, you can drink more of it. You can't drink 2-3 bottles of cold water. Your body's automatically going to stop you. But if you try drink 1 bottle, 2 bottle, like what I do, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm glad it's right here, I literally just walk around with this. If I'm going on the road, I have this. Like literally, if I'm going on the road, I have this. And this is, I think, 1.9 liters, 1.8, 1.9 liters. So you drink off 2 of this or 1.5 of this for the day, you're good. You know what I'm saying? I used to bring that to work with me every single day when I was at my old company in Jamaica, and I'm telling you, that used to finish till I have to refill it. You know what I'm saying? And I refill it. I used to always buy a 1.5 liter bottle at the gym and just put it back in there. And that was me every single day. You have to be active. And it goes without saying, of course, there are other factors that have helped me to improve my skin. You know what I'm saying? I do like a skin routine like very often. But as you can see, it's not bumps. You know, it's not bumps. Back in the day, it used to be bumps, scars, all like it was never about, oh, not having a skincare routine, oh, not bathing properly. No, not that. You know what I'm saying? It was genuinely about what we're eating, because remember, whatever you're doing within is going to reflect on the outside. So you have to always treat your insides before you treat your outsides. You can always try to fix the exterior, but you have to fix the interior. And that's where Jesus comes in. That's where God comes in. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not trying to force anything down on you. You get me? I'm literally just trying to tell you that sometimes he shows you things, because he literally allowed my mother to go to China. Hey, she could have done her master's in Jamaica. Would have been the same masters. Or maybe a little bit more, maybe way more accredited in China, clearly. But she could have done her master's in Jamaica. But he literally sent her all the way to China for 2 years. In that 2 years, I was suffering. You know, in that 2 years, I was basically alone. In that 2 years, I was basically fending for myself for a good while. I guess that's a story for another day, you know. I was overlooked. Nobody even knew what I was doing, type of vibe, you know. And I just wrestled through that 2 years, you know what I'm saying? And when she came back, life drastically changed. Obviously, some terrible things happened. Like, when I say terrible, I mean terrible things happened. Like, the worst death in my life happened when she came back, you know what I'm saying? And the most traumatic experiences came back, or happened when she came back. So, you know, but the truth of the matter is, things always have to get worse before they get better. And the thing is, when you're at your lowest, always remember, when you're at your lowest, that means the only direction that you can go is up. The only direction you can go is up. When you're at your lowest point, the only direction you can go is up. And the mere fact that you survive that lowest point means that you're called for a higher, or you have a higher calling. I don't know what that higher calling is, and it clearly shows that you can withstand it. It clearly shows that whatever happened, and you thought that, oh, you wouldn't survive, you survived. Clearly you're stronger than you even knew you were. And because of that, always remember, just give God thanks, because you experienced it, and you now know what to do in certain situations. And if something traumatic occurred that you thought you'd never survive, and you actually survived it, that means you're actually stronger than you think. But yeah, thank you for watching today's podcast, apparently. But that's how I changed my skin. It wasn't a skincare routine. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't even any wicked, drastic diet change. Oh my God, only eat fruits, only eat 2,000 calories per day, go on a keto fast. No, it was literally just eliminating as much sugar as possible. I'm not telling you to get rid of every single sugar in your life. No, I'm telling you that we are overdoing it with the sugars and the salts, and we're not being as active as we can. I'm telling you, I literally cannot wait until I get older and I have children for myself and a nice family, and I'm making their meals every single day. I can't wait for when I have children of my own and I'm showing them the healthy version of life. We go out for walks and, you know, cook their meals and sit down and pray and, you know, have a family dinner and discuss things and, You know, none of this, oh, I'm seeing people give their babies sweets at 8 months and now they get cranky. Nah, there's this lady on TikTok, and I know I said I was supposed to finish the video, but there's this lady on TikTok, bro. She's always like, babes. She's like the coolest person ever. She's like a single mother, I think. And she has twins or two girls. Is it the twins or two girls? I don't know what it is. And the way how she cooks her meals for her children, and the way how her children are so well behaved and well taught and well spoken, like that's what I'm imagining for myself. Minus the single parent thing, you know. Hey, I'm sorry.